Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
Especially now I know they have like the AI stuff where like it'll edit your videos for you. Like, could you imagine handing over a Riker Road video to an AI and then uploading it? Like
No.
that'd be terrifying.
No,
like,
I would never do that.
Yeah.
Not letting a fucking robot edit my video.
Yeah.
They already listen to my shit. Bro, I'm not even joking. The people down at our local store, I literally just had an encounter with the one person, got to my car, and she was a suggested friend on my Facebook.
What the hell?
She didn't request me, and I didn't request her. It's not like accept.
No, yeah.
I'm like, whoa. That's fucking weird.
See, that's honestly like that is trippy, but it also like what freaks me out is when I think of somebody from high school that I haven't talked to in a long time. I don't tell anybody, and then they're a suggested friend.
Yeah, dude.
That's the stuff where it's like, no, Neuralink is already here. Like, it's like they found a way, you know? So it just, I mean,
something, man.
It's like what else causes that?
Because what are the fucking chances? I don't know any of those people down there like that, let alone this chick. Why the fuck is she all of a sudden a suggested friend?
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. Algorithms are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on algorithms.
Oh, yeah. Today, guys, for anybody that either doesn't know or, you know, depending on when this comes out, if it's common knowledge or whatever. But no, we had not one, but two blocked videos today that happened. And the first one, I kind of like after it happened, I was like, okay, like, no, this does make sense. Like, this is a very big artist, you know, but I mean, it's big on TikTok, you know, like this is kind of like, you know, the hot thing right now, which, you know, is awesome for reactors. But in the same hand is that when it isn't, it's just because it's like, no, like it's, you know, the record label is just not allowing it or like something like that's going on. But what really tricked me out was when you finally texted me, because we had been talking like throughout all of it, kind of like this is what's going on. And it was like, no, they blocked Melody Martinez too. And I'm like, that has never happened. She's been partially blocked before. There's been something like that. But like something's going on with YouTube right now. So it's just kind of just waiting it out and seeing like what's happening and like you know, if it's going to get resolved. So, but yeah.
Like, dude, like it has been like today has been not a good day. It is the day I take my little girl home that I don't like, on top of the two videos, just on top. Like there was just shit upon shit happening today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then it was just one of those like, gotta put your happy face on to come in here and do it, like, you know, but no, again, like once we sat down in here and one, like, it was like, okay, it is kind of like time to work, but it's also time to work.
Yeah.
You know, and like tonight, not that I have to, but like, I do feel like I need to go live on YouTube and do something because I lost 10,000 views today, more than, you know, probably roughly. And
yeah, it's what keeps the channel alive. It's the bloodline. Yeah.
And the fact that I didn't do coffee time the last 2 days because I've had Chandler. So I not like normally those are just thrown in there anyways. And it would have been like, okay, I guess. So now I've got to go in there and kind of do damage control. It's like, I wanted to play on Twitch too. So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight because I need to go on YouTube. I should do that for like at least an hour.
Right.
But then it's like, but I want to go on Twitch and like listen to music or play fucking video games. And because even though that is still technically work, that's fun. Not that going live on YouTube, it's the fact it's like I have to do it.
There are different dynamics of fun.
Yeah, correct.
It's like, what are you in the mood for tonight and what do you want to do? Yeah.
So it's just, it really was just like a sock to the gut where I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, I even hurried up and edited and even like took the loss on not having a thumbnail for Melanie because that she wasn't going up today. Yeah. And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because between all the you know, friends and people that we know that have been getting demonetized and all of these things from Google and, you know, with Lee now and especially like he's getting fucked hard. Yeah. And over the last like 2 weeks, the shit that's been happening, the app was updating and it freaked me the fuck out because it said our revenue was zero. Yeah. And that finally fixed. And then we didn't get paid. Like never once has it not paid us on the 21st, like it's supposed to at like noon.
Yeah. No matter the amount, whether it's $20 or more, like it's like it is like clockwork. It always comes through. Yeah.
And I know they have until the 26th, but it's like it's always been this way. So like all of those things were happening. We finally got paid, obviously, but like it went through. It was just, that was freaking me out because I'm like, well, dude, what the fuck? Then we were dropping in revenue. I'm like, what is happening? And then today, and I'm like, and I am frantically looking through, like, all I do anymore is type in AdSense in my fucking Gmail anymore, just to make sure that like we're still like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, dude, this freaked me out until we got at least one, probably 2 to 3 comments though, and essentially being like, yeah, this has been happening to a lot of people today. I'm like, right. Okay. But so no, that's great. The problem is, how many days do I have to wait? This is my living, guys. I have to upload videos.
Well, and this is honestly like, I know that like what I'm going to do on my end is at least tonight, like if there's a thumbnail, it's going to get done.
Sure.
Like that way we have that stockpile. So like, let's just even say worst case. I mean, you guys are kind of getting like kitchen talk right now, but like worst case scenario, if you were to have something like, you know, okay, the first one that you upload is blocked, then it's kind of like, okay, well, we have some more artists, or we have like other things that you can do, even if it's a couple, you know, of being able to test it. That way it's like, at least you have the option. That way, if one does work, then you got a thumbnail for it. So it's like, kind of like, that's kind of like where my mind is at, is that like, I agree. Like I do have the question of like how long this is going to be, because it's not even just for us. It's for everybody that's like, you know, that's dealing with this right now, because we've put in the time, we, you know, put in our hours, we did our thing, and now we're being restricted on being able to get it to the final step. And that's, and I think that's honestly why blocking bothers me the most, because it's the fact that it's like, number one, no copyright shit should be happening anyway. We've beat that dead horse many times. I'm not going to go on a whole thing about it, but it's like federal law is clear. We shouldn't even have to deal with it. But it's the fact that, okay, don't pay me, fine, but don't restrict my video from going up.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that is really defeating. And it's like, dude, like even 21 Pilots just dropped their new single, you know, the music video or whatever. Like I do want to react to it because I want to selfishly listen to it. It's just, I have that pit in my stomach with that, where it's like, God, like, are they going to block us? Because like now clearly like blocking is a big thing that's been happening today. So something that did block us before, like, you know, like, it wouldn't shock me if that did happen, because we have something that we can measure, we can look at it and see that it did. Right. But now it's kind of like, like, I don't know, like I'm in a very strange kind of like mentality with YouTube right now, just because like I am kind of seeing it like go back to like the December, January kind of time. Nowhere near as bad. And I think that the lives are helping a lot. But no, it's just, it's been kind of like, okay, like the algorithm is clearly changing again. You know, this is, you know, like these are the things that are working or not working, like whatever. But there's also a big part of me that like isn't worried, just because we've been up against some pretty incredible shit. And we've still, like, you know, not only has it like, you know, been the idea that we've been able to overcome stuff and still make content, but the, like, you know, the right amount of people do show up. There is still a presence there, you know, all that. Like, I think that it's just, this is kind of the time to be nervous, like, because it's just, we, like every time before when something happened, we did not know what the outcome was. And so far the outcomes have been fine. We've been able to keep doing what we're doing, you know, and it's pretty cool, you know,
bro.
It's a mixture of things, you know.
I flipped out on the dispute today. I didn't even use the copy paste. I was like, remove the fucking claim off this shitty video.
Yeah.
Dude, I went the fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's too early and I'm fucking mad. Like, now I'm their problem.
See, it does make me wonder, like, because I mean, obviously, like, there's no way that every single video that is claimed can be read. But it does make me wonder, like, is that the one time somebody checked it? Like,
I don't care.
Like, no, just because it would be perfect. Because it's one of those like, oh, damn, we should probably take care of that. You know, so like, instead of like, because guys, like, I've built a system, and for anybody that, you know, wants to be a reactor or does anything like this, I don't know what your guys' process is for disputes, but I just made a Google Doc that has everything for audio and video. That
Bro,
way, like,
we got slammed with both on the Benson Boone. I'm like, no, you might, in a small might have us on the audio. You know goddamn well you ain't got shit about fuck on my video. It is flip scaled and got a watermark so much that people bitch about it.
Yes, somebody was on about that today, and they were just like, it's very disrespectful. He's like, I know that I'm new to the channel, but this really needs to stop. And it was like, I mean, much how we're going to get into the whole Macklemore thing and everything else is that it's like everybody that comments is an expert, and you better do exactly what they say or what. It's like that type of thing. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, it's whenever I see shitty comments or I see people that are, you know, very gung-ho about them, it's like, it's not to be that guy, but it's like it's like looking at the little kid where it's just like, okay, yeah, once you have context, then after this entire paragraph of you losing your mind, you're gonna go, oh. And that's usually how it is. And it's like it's always something to do with copyright, or it's something to do with the ability of how they can watch the videos. And it's kind of like, well, dude, like you've already seen it. Like, so just like this is how we get it to you. But
you're here to watch us, not the video, man.
Right.
Like you said, you've already watched the video. And if you haven't, that's your fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you already know what the song sounds like, clearly, because you want to hear somebody react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mystical's video, it's not about the video anymore. It's about watching us two idiots.
Yeah.
So you're still fucking a moron by commenting that, because it's like, do you understand what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, going into the Macklemore thing, man, like it even sucks that I know that I have to kind of watch, not what I say, but it's the fact of context of what is said.
Well, dude, trust me, I've got the same apprehensions about it, but this is because I don't know like what the title of this episode is going to be. It's probably going to be something to the like politics is going to be in the title, because we are going to cover some things that, you know, need to be talked about or whatever. I think some clarification or like whatever, but it's like kind of like politics sort of or something, right? Because like I'm going to be very blunt. I mean, I talked about this in the reaction video, is that it's like, I am not schooled in politics. I am not interested. Like, I do not have that burning desire that I know that people that are close to me have, where it's like, it's all that they do, you know, whether it's also friends or coworkers or whatever. Like my brain is just not wired that way. Like I spent a lot of my life filling up real estate with things that I was worrying about that just was not worth it. You know, and it's one of those that I'm careful about it, just because like there is a reality of things that are happening around us every day. Like all the stuff that happened in Russia, we were very, you know, like I wouldn't say schooled on it, but we were kind of like up to date with it, just because you couldn't scroll TikTok without seeing it. Yeah. You know, so it's just, I don't know, like for me, it's like having that distance is something that I very much enjoy, because I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot more joyful. Right. I have a lot of peace, and I don't know. It's just, that's kind of like my position on things, you know, is that it's like, I'm very good at disassociating myself from that, you know, and it's, you know, I think that there's good things about that. There's bad things about that, but that's really how I went into that reaction, was that I didn't know what Heinz Hall was. I didn't know anything that was going on with Palestine, like nothing like that. And then this video happened, and it was like, oh shit. Yeah. You know, and even some people had the disbelief. They're like, have you been living under a rock? You know, and it's like, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I don't pay attention to that stuff. Like it's,
well, the thing is, like, obviously we both know that there's shit going on, like, and there has been.
There always is.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is that, you know, people don't realize we do not have cable and haven't for well over a decade, going on 2, at least for myself. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, you're right. The Russia stuff and everything was all over my TikTok. The Palestine thing, I don't see it on my TikTok at all.
I have not. And like and I'm not being arrogant when I say that. No. Like that stuff just was not in my feed.
That's what I'm saying is that, so I don't get it. Yeah. So again, I know that there was still stuff being mentioned or whatever, but as far as like my quote news intake, it kind of was TikTok. But here's the thing is, I don't trust any fucking news source. Half of it's bullshit. The other half is lies. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I'm not going to believe not that nothing isn't going on over there. It's just the fact of what are they really telling us and all this stuff. So but even before the Palestine thing, that's how I was. And like you were stating earlier, not watching the news and not being a part of it, I have been so much happier in the fact of what my depressions are now shifted to. It ain't the world like that anymore. No, it used to be. And it's because I don't watch the news. I don't stay up like that. I don't stay up on much politics, like enough to kind of like get by and like understand who people are. Right. But that's about it. So for the fact of getting my, I guess, news from TikTok, I don't get on Facebook like that anymore, and I don't get on Instagram. So I just kind of live my life and doom scroll, and it wasn't across my feed. So I'm like, I knew this much going into the video, and I knew what it was fucking awful. I just didn't know statistics and things like that and numbers and whatnot. So like, we're getting crucified because we weren't educated. No, we're not, because we are doing other things. And the thing is, and that's not I'm not saying like shitting on that. It's the fact of it doesn't come across to us like that. So we're not paying attention.
No, like, because yours and I's like conversations and such, like whenever like we do talk about stuff like that, it's more so kind of like I'm treading carefully, but like say like there was a friend of ours that was talking about something and then you and I start talking about that interaction. And that's kind of like either like when the venom will come out or like you're like, we'll have that. Because it goes into that whole mentality of like what you talk about in public and what you don't, and it's in politics is one of the very big ones, if not the biggest one. It's like, because it's interesting that we're like, just from my experience is that like people are more tolerant about your belief system as a religion or in spirituality than you are about, well, what did you think about this amendment that was passed? Or what did you think about this person that was elected or whatever? That's when you see the entire shift change. And that is something that I do not like. It is, to me, it's a waste of time. I'm like, I judge people by how fast they order food.
Sure.
I judge people by like, cause like, even like when I've had friends before that they've talked about very personal things, like, whether or not they were developing their sexuality or whatever, and they were nervous to talk about it and they would be scared to tell me for whatever reason. And I would just look at them and go, no, like, I'm not I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm going to judge you because you don't believe in ghosts. It's like that type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's, so like, but even then it's playful. Like I'm not like being a jackass about it, like, and it's because I've been around it way too much to see like how fast a social situation can be ruined by division in that way. And it's so sad. Like, it's something that like, I don't, number one, I don't like arguing with people, but especially whenever they think that I'm not a good person anymore because I don't support what they support, or that I don't want to talk about it, or maybe I disagree about some things. Like, it's very fucked up how that works.
Well, I was back on my bullshit with all these comments that were coming through. I didn't give a fuck. If I caught it, it was going down. And basically what it was is when some of these people were talking about being like the whole terrorist thing, I was like, verbatim, get the fuck off my platform.
Yeah.
I don't fucking need you. I don't need you, and I won't ever need you, because that's the kind of bullshit you're not going to say. Or when it was, they would say stuff, and I know they were directing it towards you because of the fact of like, well, if you don't know anything and educate yourself, I was like, motherfucker, you can talk to me all day, but when you start veering off, like, we got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And this is why, like you were just saying, like, the fact of not talking about stuff like in public, because I don't judge people by what they do, anything like that. I do start judging people when they act like that.
Yeah. And again,
on any scenario, religion, sex, anything, it does not fucking matter.
That's honestly because it's like I've been in close proximity with people that have had a very drastic lifestyle one way or another. And those people, now again, not everybody that, has that drastic of a lifestyle is a bad person.
No.
And it's one of those that like, it would come up in conversations with people that I knew or whatever, where it's like, well, dude, you need to get that out of your mind. I'm like, that's not what's here. The problem is that they mistreated somebody that I loved.
Correct.
That's where I have a problem. And to me, it's like, I don't know, like I'm able to see past a lot of bullshit because I know there's still a person under there. But the problem is that when the person has taken that on as their identity, like it's so difficult to be able to even be around them or to have a genuine conversation, because in one way you can't blame them. It's all that's on their mind. So when they talk, they're going to talk about it. But in the same hand, it's like, bro, like you can't be enjoying your life right now.
Yeah.
Like that. And it's like that. It just makes me really sad. Like, it's like, dude, like you could be doing so much more with your time. And, focusing on your loved ones and focusing on things you love, like, all of that,
And exactly. And the thing is that I know even in the heat of the moment when I am deciding to like take the low road and comment back, usually when I take the low road, it's when I comment anything back other than thank you for like your shitty comment to help my algorithm. Yeah. That's when because that's just a kind of like a basic one that I just say because I know it pisses them off.
Yeah. I'm going to heart your comment anyway. Like,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, I know that when people like that comment, I'm living in their head rent free. It bugged them that fucking much. And now I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank because you're pushing my algorithm, dumbass. Like that. That is what what I don't understand, because I have actually had to stop myself over time on people's platforms that were, in my opinion, being disrespectful to certain things. Like one of them being what the one fucking idiot that is on like TikTok and stuff. And he claims to do ASMR and he does good ASMR, but then he like flips out when like people send him gifts and he just like screams or like smacks the microphone. I'm like, dude, you are disrespecting an art that people come here for something that is personal, like sleep or relaxing, and you are fucking this all up.
Yeah, they came here for relief, not your antics.
Yes, and I used to comment stuff. I'm like, dude, stop. You're pushing this person's algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so like, I get it. Like, I get when sometimes because people are unhappy with their lives, but I just like, not that they catch me or like I take the bait. It's like, no, I want to interact with you now. No, you wanted this. You got it.
Yeah.
So, but no, I also know, like I said, I live in their head rent free. And then I also realize that they're, for lack of a better term, so pathetic that this is you're the one scrolling and watching me, idiot.
Yeah,
I just sound like Dwight right there. but that's how I look at it. Whether it's a hateful comment because we're ignorant or not, it's just the fact of like, remember, you came to my page and clicked on my stupid face. So thanks for all of it, because you just helped me out more. So if you would have just kept your mouth shut.
See, this is even like the first time, like I can't remember how far it was into Riker Road, but I do know that it was the first time that we got a negative comment, and I was so excited. Because like I think I like ran upstairs and I was like, dude, like we made it. Like it's like it happened. Like it's not just like good things. It's like that means that everybody is watching you. You know, because we've had everything from people being like, you know, oh, I'm from Egypt and I'm watching you. That one still like just trips me out where I'm like, why? Like you found us? That's crazy. Like it's that type of thing. Or like knowing that somebody in Tokyo is watching or somebody in Canada. Like it's just, you know, like, and there's tons of different types of people all across the globe that do watch us. And that diversity, I think, is like, it's cool to be able to see, because even on normal reactions, we get people that say ridiculous, dumb shit, you know, but when something like this Macklemore thing happens, it's a lot like the whole racism thing that happened with Adam Calhoun with his song Racism. And like, it's the stupidity of somebody that looks at that and sees how cautious we were, and understanding that what we're working with whenever you are talking about topics like that is that you're trying to hold plutonium with your bare hands. Like you can probably carry it a few feet, but your hands are still going to get infected. Either way, you have touched something that is like a hot topic or a problem or whatever. And it's mind blowing to me that somebody can interpret a video looking at how we say that we support X, Y, and Z. We were not raised this way. This is a stupid mentality to be a racist. And we get people that call us white supremacists. Like it's like Titus doing his entire white supremacist. Like I told you the other night, where like he did like the whole white supremacist bit where he made fun of them and owned them like the boss that he is. And people still were like, see, he's racist. And it's like, how did you even arrive there? Yeah. And it's in like, that's the part where like, it's not that it even keeps me up at night, but like it will enter into my mind where like, I kind of start to have self-doubt, because then I'm like, did I say something?
Sure.
Like, it's like, cause like taking away from the idea that somebody could play 2 seconds out of context and incriminate you, like to watch the video and to see what happened. And I've rewatched that video, and it's like I don't even need to rewatch the Macklemore video because it's so like fresh. Like that's one that I definitely remember reacting to, because I was being very careful and I was trying to be as respectful as possible over something that I know that is a big thing that is happening right now. And it's just people that can interpret, like they're gonna do what they want with what they see. But in the same hand is that it's like no, like it's like I'm not your enemy here. Like we focused on the music. Like we had less backlash for the whole Ben Shapiro thing, and he's like the head of the conservative mindset of what he thinks. Where it's like, you know, like he like hones in that conservative mentality or whatever. And it's just, I don't know, like that's the part that really bothers me is that it's like, it genuinely makes me curious where it's like, I want to know what the hell is happening in your head. Like,
Right.
Are you okay? Like, is it like, what is happening? And it's just, to me, it's the unfortunate part of like just the human condition, man. Like it's that people just, they can't help it.
I know it is. People are butthurt that we don't know every single fucking thing about the whole Palestine thing and the situation directly that Macklemore was talking about. It's like, no, we don't. But the thing is that acting like that towards somebody that isn't educated is still not the way to go about it.
No.
There was a few comments responding back. They're like, sure, that's the way to get somebody to go look something up.
Yeah. Well, because I don't want to take anything away from the positive comments that we got on the video too. Because it wasn't just a cesspool. Like
no.
It was enough.
There was enough. Like it was mostly good comments. People like, thank you for at least doing this. Or a lot of reactors are afraid to do this one. Or people aren't listening to this. And the fact that there was probably 3 or 4 comments about the fact of, I think me saying something about the whole Tom McDonald thing. I'm like,
oh my God, that was so dumb.
Bro, you're still, I'm like, I didn't say I said he's bringing up topics like Tom, all the hot topic things.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to say it.
To say that we could even compare Macklemore and Tom McDonald as rappers is laughable because their approach to music is so different.
It is.
So it's like, so let's take that common sense aspect out of it. You never once said he lines up with Tom McDonald's beliefs. Oh, they should join together and no, that'd be a fucking nightmare. Like no, not at all. It's like to me, it's like no matter what, if somebody is being bold, whether I like it or not, I like that stuff, dude.
Correct.
Like it's because it's why I even had a fascination when I was deep in my faith, where I would still want to check on things with Marilyn Manson because he was such a force of nature when he was first on the scene. Like where it was like he defied everything that I believed in. And it's like, no, dude, he doesn't give a shit. I like that.
Right.
Like it's like that. I've always been that way. Like with all aspects of art, where like even with extreme horror, where it's like, when like a human being thought of this.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I have to see it. Like it's like that's just that fascination that I have. Like that's even like why I tried to bring up the whole Rise Against thing too, because it was like, no, dude, like about like when they brought up their whole thing about gun control, where it's like, yes, they're a liberal band. So obviously they are not going to be for the laws or whatever that somebody that's conservative is.
Sure.
And I liked the way that they did that lyric. I'm a dandelion making guns go silent, where it's like, dude, like that, like I don't even have to agree with it. It's
Sure.
like that was an artistic way to do it. And it's powerful, especially when you listen to the song. It's like I just that art is cool to me. It always has been,
Yeah, and I think a big part of the fact of like getting into all types of music is I listen to people that are completely. I'm not even on a side. That's the thing is I'm so neutral.
Yeah.
That it does like. You know what I mean? Like I kind of do, like I've said before, like the Dave Chappelle approach where it's like, I look at this person as a person. Are you a good human being for the most part? What are your beliefs in the fact of not just religion, but like your belief system on life? And that's how I look at it. But I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I didn't like Hillary.
Same.
But it's just, it's like, so I don't, I guess, indulge myself in all of this politics like that. Like I've said before, I know enough to get by.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm kind of not interested.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people get pissed off, like, it's your government. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you know what I do know? We don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is where I'm at with it. Did I vote? No.
Same.
And I'm not going to because I'm kind of one of those believers. It doesn't matter that I voted.
No, and it's I think
sorry guys, it burst your bubble. Go ahead and unsubscribe from Riker Road.
That's honestly because this is the thing too, is that this is probably the most political that we are ever going to get on this channel.
More than likely.
And because it's one of those that I don't like doing this. But in the same hand is that it's like, no, like this is something that I felt that we needed to address. And just to take that as well too, man, is that I have the exact same mentality. Just watch any section of George Carlin talking about politics. You will get the full Bible of what I believe about politics.
Sure.
Like that's, I mean, to be honest, like it's not even just because he's a comedian. And again,
no,
I
I know what you're he's like, speaking truth.
Right. And it's because it's like, I remember somebody, I can't remember who, or not who, but like, or what a special it was of his. But they were just like, isn't it crazy that all that George did was just talk about the world and how he perceived it? And it's like, no, like he did have jokes. He could make you laugh, but he found a funny way to go about it and not give a fuck in the process.
Yeah.
And it's just like again, like I try not to be an asshole with it, but it's one of those that's like, no, on election day, I stay home. Like I do not have enough knowledge to know exactly who I should be voting for or whatever, because even though like I grew up conservative and I maybe would lean more towards that, it's still to me like it doesn't matter. Like I have that mentality of like, no, you're all diseased. Like I want no part of your pissing contest or because of or like when you take like, this is the one thing too is that people will probably check out when I said that, but in the same hand is that everything that is happening in politics is serious. When you're talking about a person's right to their body, when you're talking about,
for sure,
when you're talking about, should, it's are pregnancies allowed to go this far, or like what drugs are legalized, like, all these things. These are very, very important things. And the problem is that they've been compartmentalized so much on two separate sides that it's things that we will go to war for.
Correct.
And it's now there's an element of that I think that is true is that, no, these are serious enough that a good decision or a right decision should be made about this. But in the same hand is that it can't be done properly, like from a social aspect of it, of handling it, of like looking at it and go, okay, this did not happen the way that I wanted it to. It's and being able to process it in a way or even people that, when they do get their way when something is voted for or whatever, and then they're assholes about it. It's like you're not helping anything.
Right.
And it's to me, it's like, again, like whenever different stuff has come up for, especially for like women's rights or whatever, like for their body or whatever, where it's like, no, like this isn't like I know for a fact where I stand on this, but again, it's one of those where it's like I have no room to talk in this area. Like it's like I'm not built the same. Like I don't have the same abilities like or anything like that. Where it's like no, like let it happen how it should.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of how I view everything is that like,
a woman's voice should be the one being heard for stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Not a man. Like, in a sense, like I understand backing that person or these things, but yes, it should be more so on the fact of when women's rights things comes up or like what they can do with their bodies. Yes, it should be like, okay, this is your time to step up here and let's do this, because if that's what you all agree on, then that's what you all agree on. Yeah. It shouldn't be what we think.
No.
So it was just like the whole thing with me getting a vasectomy. All joking aside, I don't want kids anymore. So I'm going to go get snipped. It's not Meg's responsibility or whoever I dated or whatever to go get fixed because I don't want kids anymore.
Correct.
That's first of all, that surgery compared to mine is way different.
Yeah.
And so more invasive and recovery time than to me to get a few tubes snipped.
Yeah. And have to wear a bag of frozen peas for 3 days and then take it easy for a week. Like it's just like, yeah.
So that's how I looked at that, where it's like, no, and that's not something to be voted on, but I'm the one who wanted to speak my voice or do these things. So that's why I did it. It's not their responsibility to go get a hysterectomy because I don't want to have kids.
Right.
That's fucking rude.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like I could never imagine going up to Meg and going, I'm going to need you to get your tubes tied. Oh, why? Because I don't want any more kids and I just want to not have to use condoms. Oh, that's not a good enough reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like
and I think that's there's this mentality of that. Like, unfortunately, some people do have that mentality, and I don't know. Like, to me, it's one of those that like I know that there are plenty of things that I could definitely like speak my voice on or whatever. Like whether it's an opinion on abortion or whether it's an opinion on gay marriage or if it's an opinion on taxes or if it's an opinion like all that stuff. Like I do have my personal preferences.
Sure.
I just I let that stuff be things that are talked about in private when I have earned somebody's respect and I'm able to have a discussion with them. Like it's just because it's the same way like whenever I would want to spread my faith or whatever, where it was just like I for so long I was kind of like the open air evangelist guy where it was like not enough people are coming to Christ. And it's like, well, first off, they were there to get coffee. They're tired. They have 15 minutes and they're probably fighting with their wives or there's something happening in their life or whatever. And now you're the annoying guy that's trying to talk to them about this.
Right.
And it's like, whereas when I've developed relationships with people and they've been able to see, oh, yeah, he does believe something that's kind of wacky that I never would because I don't believe in anything like that. But he seems like he's a well-rounded guy. Like he's not, he's not giving me shit. He's not, it's like he's not an asshole to people. He's, responsible, like whatever. And it's like that's the time that I allow those things to escape or allow or whatever, like when those when those opportunities happen, like talking about like my opinion on those things on a live platform or on any kind of content that is posted, it does nothing but just breed negativity because there will be somebody that disagrees with you and they're going to disagree with you hard enough that they would probably do something to you, whether it's physical or mental. They want to harm you in some way to punish you for not agreeing with them because you should agree with them. And it's just that is a place that it's like, I don't like being there at all. It's just not good.
That's where like my standpoint is on, like, I think you just kind of said it all too, like literally everything in the world, trans people, LGBTQ, religion, Satanists, fucking whatever it is. Like you are free to believe whatever you and practice whatever you want, be with who you want to be with, as long as it has nothing to put in harm's way of like people or children.
Yeah.
To do like, fine. If everybody's legal and nobody's getting hurt, you can do whatever you want. But when you start throwing it, religion is a big one. I know you guys were going to think I was going to say like sexuality or stuff. Religion's a big one for me. I cannot fucking stand when people just harp. And I know I should be, but it's because it's in a wrong way. You were just saying and now you're the guy because I've been fighting with my wife on it. Now you're the fucking weird guy over here trying to save Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to save you, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I mean, it's the whole guy that's like out with like a megaphone or whatever.
Yeah, and like, but that's where I'm just like, no, please. Like, I get that you're trying to get your point across or maybe even try to have somebody see your side, maybe not even just agree with you, but to see your point of view. That's fine. There's a huge difference. And I've been at fault doing things because you're so passionate about something.
Same.
And you don't see it. Where it's like, there is a line when it comes to any of those things. And that's where it's like, I have no problem with any of it. I have a problem when it becomes that thing where it's not only, it's annoying, but it is now like almost borderline like invasive.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, I get it. I fucking get it. You want to be a dude. Like, or whatever it is. I get it. You fucking love the Jews. Like, it's just whatever it is. Like, guys, calm down. We understand what this is and your voices are being heard. We just don't, maybe I don't want to be Jewish. Maybe I don't want to be Catholic because I'm a Christian. But Christians are the biggest ones, dude.
See, this is where
that's where I'm just like, so I get it. So guys, do not take what I was just saying there as a fact of a negative. It's the fact of the process of how people try to get you to see their side.
Yes,
is the turnoff and the big problem with everything across the world, not just these few things. No. So hopefully that didn't get taken out of context.
No, I mean, honestly, us doing this and even talking about it and just having a conversation between brothers is like, we're already putting a target.
100%.
And
dude.
like, I thought about it before we started. I'm like, this will be the podcast that goes viral. Like, this is the one that will. And it's like, cause it's like, broadcast news, 2 guys from Ohio hate everybody, and it's, of course, it's like anybody that has a brainstem and actually pays attention will know that that's not the case. But there's some people that just don't have that ability.
Yeah.
And I agree, dude. Like it's a tough spot to be in whenever you get mad at somebody that has a belief system where it's like, no, like I know how I was when I was younger.
Yep.
And it's that moment, like I see myself in these people whenever they get passionate and I'm like, bro, thank God I got away from that.
Sure.
Like, I mean, because I mean, we did a faith podcast with like where we kind of like talked about our like not reconstruction, but like our rekindling and like different stuff, like kind of like where we're at. It's on the channel if you guys want to like in depth, like gross look at what we think. But no, like I severed a lot of friendships with very good people. And it was just, I mean, thankfully, like, you know, with Sammy and TJ and like, you know, some people that, you know, I've been able to reconnect with and, you know, them being like, nah, dude, like, you know, yeah, you were fucked up at that time, but I also wasn't in a good place.
Sure.
You know, and it's like, because it came down to like the idea that I was so hell bent, ironically, hell bent on saving them that I forgot to be their friend. And that's, dude, there is no bigger shame that I can have than somebody that is being pushed away from the truth or pushed away from what I perceive as the truth.
Sure.
And it's, you know, so
because of you. Right.
And it's because that even like when I was working with the church I did video ministry for, we did a full sermon series on oh God, it had like a clever name, but it was kind of like the idea of that like church no more or whatever kind of a thing, where it was like the thing that pushes them away. We were a church that's like people had tattoos and everybody dressed very, you know, plain and stuff. But one of the sermon intros we did was we didn't show faces, but we showed enough of like from the neck down to show that these were people with short sleeves, like, you know, they had like, you know, tattoos. And they're outside kind of talking about over like anything, you know, kind of benign. And all of a sudden it's like, dude, you see that guy with the suit over there? What the hell is his problem? And it's like, and like they're like kind of like making fun of him, whatever. He comes up, he has his Bible in his hand, he shakes their hands like, good morning, it's so good to see you. Like, oh yeah, going inside. It's just like, pay up. I told you would shake my hand. Like, it's like that type of thing. Like, yeah, and what really got to me, because I saw that and I was like, well, thankfully I've never judged anybody that way, but I do know that it's like that reverse judging that happens.
Yep. Yeah.
And the one that got me was, I think I actually shot it with Brian. He was helping me out that day when we were doing videos, and we did a close up of a wheel of a car, and you heard two people walk over and the doors open and you hear a voice, which was Brian's. And it was, we are never doing that again. And the car door slams and you see the car pull away and the church is in the distance. And it's like, we didn't even cover what it was that upset them, but it was like, no, dude, you have not even given the ability for people to even listen to your side now because you've mistreated them so badly.
Exactly.
And it's like, when you look at that from an eternal standpoint, that's very daunting. That is scary. If you are going to like take on this belief system and know that eternity is at stake. But I think what people can relate to, no matter what, is your social like aspect. Like if you are going to immediately paint yourself in a light that's negative, like, dude, that's just not good.
Exactly.
Like, there's no reason for you to have to be that way. And
I think that is that one with the pulling away with the we're never doing that again. That does speak volumes. That's why I said one of the biggest ones for me is religion. And out of all the things, ironically, religion is one of my biggest pet peeves on the people just trying to fucking Bible thump the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That it takes precedent over everything because, like you said, eternity is a big thing. But the fact that it has over time been done to everything now, as far as like what people say and can't say. The world is full of a bunch of pansies. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, in the fact of watching, which I understand being bullied is a different thing, but we've had to dance around so much stuff tonight. Yeah, and we probably still didn't even do it right.
Well,
I know that they'll be like, well, you should have to dance around everything. Shut the fuck up.
No, like, and honestly, it's one because, like, I mean, to even open up like kind of like stuff I think that you and I have talked about, and I don't know if I've ever publicly talked about it, but we did get a message from somebody on Patreon however long ago, and it was because of one of the lives that we did. Now, mind you, we were having a conversation just with our audience, having a good time, and I think that it was something to the effect of that, like, the way we were speaking, we only gave room for two genders. It was like man and woman or whatever. And what ended up happening was that this person who had been a patron supporter, I think that they still are, but they had jumped on the messages and they were just like, like gave a thesis on the idea of that you need to understand that you need to be inclusive. And that was very offensive. And like all this, like it was,
I would
all
have
this
immediately
shit.
stopped reading.
So, I wanted to know exactly everything because number one, if I get a normal message and I see that, I'm not really going to pay attention to it. But this was somebody that had been active and that was also supporting us. And I looked at it where it's like, okay, you know what? No, like it's my job to read these anyway. I'm going to read through it. I want to know what's going on here. And I don't remember the response I got. So clearly it wasn't anything like earth shattering as far as like, oh, I had to like bring it up to you or whatever. But I basically said, tough. We did what we did because we were talking. We were having a genuine conversation with somebody. And this wasn't even on the forefront of our minds.
Yeah.
We were not offending anybody. Yes, it is on our side to make sure that we have to dance around certain things. We do. But in the same hand is that it is also the responsibility of you to not take everything so personally.
Yes.
And I'm like, you take that with what you will. I'm like, the second that we change the way that we talk already on top of what we've had to do is when we are no longer ourselves. We are a product of what everything has made us. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Never.
And it's like, again, like I don't even like, I don't get hung up on the gender thing. I don't get hung up on, all that stuff. Like, because again, like I've met people that have been very serious about that stuff and they're still good people. It's like, it is possible, and because even with Sammy, where I was like, just for context, Sammy transitioned from Craig and is actually doing the hormone therapy and like all that stuff. Like, there's like real change that is happening.
She's been doing that. What? Well, not the hormone, but she's been Sammy for like, what? Probably 3 or 4 years now, maybe longer.
Probably a little longer. Yeah. I would have to ask her for sure. Cause I can't remember exactly like when everything did start, but no, like that's cause the one thing that I told Sammy was I said, look, I'm like, I love you. I respect you. I've known you for a damn long time. We met in 4th grade and bonded on the blacktop because of curse words, because we played Grand Theft Auto. Like we started in the most innocent, vile way. It was perfect. Like it was amazing, and when it came down to the time that it was like, no, like I am Sammy now, was that I said, look, I'm like, number one, I use dude as a general term. So
same.
I use it for everything and everybody. So do not get mad at me for that. Not that you would, but in the same hand, I was like, look, I'm like, you have to understand, I have been calling you Craig for 15 years.
Right.
And it is going to slip out. I will apologize if it does, or if I don't notice, just say, hey, just so like whatever.
Yeah.
Like we have that type of a relationship where it's like we can like either dog on each other or like, or be like, hey, yo, bro, like, like whatever. But in the same hand is that like, that's like, to me, it's, I respect that because, because I also know that that I have a moral responsibility on this planet while I'm here, where it's like, no, like if somebody wants to be referred to something, it costs me nothing to be able to say that. It's the problem I get to is when people are so nasty about it. And and like, again, it goes on with everything else where it's just like, that is where I am not okay with that at all.
I think that's my thing too. Yeah.
So, but it's just, I don't know. This week was interesting, just like how everything went down. Again, like, I mean, we're kind of, in the trenches again, like with the blocking thing, but also with the Macklemore, like, again, like that was a big, like you said, sock to the gut. That was just kind of like, really? Like, it was just like, can we just make content? Like, is that okay? Like, it's like out of everything that happens where it's like, can we just make videos? That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. And the fact of, can we just agree that like, this is terrible? Can we just focus on the actual thing at hand here?
Because let's also stress that is that people are being hurt. I don't fucking want that.
Right. It's like you're focused on the wrong thing of me being not educated. Let's focus on the fact that this is awful. And let's just keep it at that because maybe then, you know what? Then do like some of these people did and kind of quote, educate us a little bit in some of their comments that were lengthier. It's like, at least they tried to give us like some cliff notes real quick.
Yeah.
So but after this week, and today, and like I'm painting a smile on my face today. I'm gonna go get fucked up and play some video games. So if you want to see me, I know it's already too late, but just follow me on Twitch tonight, Riker Road 83, and then I'll probably be on YouTube later. But again, this is already in the past, so it doesn't really matter. But
if you want to catch him live, his Riker Road 83.
Yeah. I was just being funny. I'm getting fucked up and playing video games.
What was it? There was a video I did with a buddy of mine where he played a tape recorder and it was like Saw, and it was like Eric, don't talk. This message is pre-recorded, but you just answered me. No, I didn't. Don't roll your eyes at me. It's like that kind of like Spaceballs thing. Yeah. So, but nevertheless, guys, I don't think that there's really anything else to really dive into with this. I mean, we'll probably just end up talking in circles, but in the same hand, guys, is that understand no matter what walk of life you are, no matter where you're at, no matter how depressed you are or how passionate you are about something, we want you guys here. We don't alienate people. We love people. We focus on music. We focus on art. We focus on stuff that we love, and we just focus on being goofballs. Like that's really the core of Riker Road and ultimately Eric and Kyle and what we do.
Right.
So it's one of those that like if anybody has heard this and has made it to the end, and if you're angry, I want to say this is that stop it. Everything is fine. Nothing is wrong. It's just like look past that stuff. I encourage you to be able to view the world through a different lens of look at people for people.
Right.
And that's all that I would want to encourage you with, man. So, but nevertheless, Eric, is there, I don't know if I want to do this or not, but Eric, is there anything you want to tell the audience before we sign off until next week?
No.
Wise choice. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Adios.